Deep, are you there? Deep,
हाँ सर।
can you take care of the logic part today?
सर मैं तो स्ट्रीम देख रहा हूँ।
अच्छा अच्छा, ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है, आई
नहीं
अंडरस्टैंड।
तो मैं कर लेता सर।
नहीं नहीं, समझ गया समझ गया। एडियन,
हेलो, क्या सर?
टेक केयर ऑफ द लॉजिक पार्ट टुडे।
श्योर श्योर, ओके। ठीक है।
कौन है? लक्ष्मी, टेक केयर ऑफ द प्रेजेंटेशन। अच्छा, लक्ष्मी इज नॉट। एक मिनट, और कौन है? पल्लवी, आर यू देयर? पल्लवी,
Yes,
अच्छा,
Pratik.
कैन यू टेक केयर ऑफ द रिसर्च पार्ट?
Yeah.
अच्छा ठीक है। नाउ हु एल्स कैन वी यूज? Who else can we use? Nishant,
Yes, sir.
take care of the research part.
Sir, he has helped us. So Nishant.
Nishant has helped you. अच्छा अच्छा।
Pratik, you asked me to take the research, no?
अच्छा, you take the research, yeah.
हाँ.
So logic research हो गया, presentation बाकी है बस। presentation, 1 second, let me figure out who to. Presentation.
Sir, Adrian would be the person, I guess.
No,
Adrian,
I'm taking care of logic.
What about
Adrian is taking care of logic.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
what about
Amit is
Huzaifa for presentation?
No, he's from sales team.
Oh, okay.
So,
My bad.
Sir, Rahul will be take caring.
अच्छा, राहुल
Yes, sir.
राहुल सिंह है ना?
हाँ जी.
take care of the presentation part.
ठीक है सर, आउट ऑफ 20 मार्क्स देना है ना?
20 और उसको स्प्लिट करना है दोनों के बीच में, ठीक है?
ठीक है सर।
Your marks can be 13-7, 12-8, 11-9, something like that, ठीक है?
ठीक है सर।
अच्छा, ओके। तो डालो वो जो अपना जो इमेज है वो डालो, मैं थोड़ा डिस्क्राइब कर देता हूँ क्या अपन डिबेट करने वाले हैं। ठीक है। So the
I
guy,
think
the
not
top,
this.
go ahead. Somebody was saying something?
No, sir. Where?
Okay. Okay. So the topic for today's debate is ideas or knowledge, innovation or resume. What matters more? Or in other words, is it ideas and innovation against knowledge and resume? There are two teams participating. There is the sales team and the customer service team. This is the final debate of the round robin competition. However, both the teams, one of the two teams will get eliminated after this competition and the other team will go into the semi-finals. I will not go into the details of what the requirements of both the teams are. Suffice it to say that is, both teams should be aspiring to win the debate. Although the requirements from the sales team are a little more stringent than the requirements from the customer service team. The purpose of the discussion today is basically to explore how the concept of knowledge and resume pairs against the idea of ideas and innovation. Which of the two teams is supporting knowledge and resume? I think it's the sales team, right?
Yes.
Acha. So the sales team is supposed to provide us points that indicate that knowledge and resume are more important than ideas and innovation, while the customer service team is supposed to convince us that ideas and innovation go a long way, and knowledge and resume cannot achieve what ideas and innovation can. Let us see what points both teams present. The idea again is to help Dozen Diamonds employees to get better perspective and better understanding of the challenges that they face on a daily basis, so that their communication within Dozen Diamonds becomes much better, and also they get a chance to communicate with the audience of Dozen Diamonds. All the best to both the teams. The point system remains the same. All the three judges, please send me your scores after the rebuttal time. So the format of the debate is there are 4 questions that have to be answered. Each team will talk on that question for 5 minutes. After that, there'll be a 3-minute rebuttal time given to both sides. After that, after every question, there'll be a 10-minute period where audience will share their thoughts on what they perceived based on what the two teams said, as well as any feedback they might have for both the teams. All the best to both the teams. Let's get started.
Sir, should we show the corporate video first?
Sure, go ahead.
Akib, will you or should I?
Actually, you can share the vision video. We've been sharing the corporate video for the last few times. So maybe let's share the vision video. Do we have the vision video handy?
Sir,
If not, we
I
can
don't
play the
have that
corporate video.
handy.
अच्छा, ठीक है, go ahead, play the corporate video.
Okay. Hope this screen is visible.
Did you know that the common
Yeah,
man
yeah.
of today leads better lifestyle than the kings and queens of 100 years ago? Not because he has as much money as they did, but because of innovations and advancements in technology and society. These advancements promise better health, better hygiene, and better diet to the common man than the kings of the past have. This is the true advantage of innovations brought about by positive business processes. The Indian stock market represents one such positive business process. Come to Dozen Diamonds, where we have dared to imagine an Indian stock market where the retail investor can invest without anxiety about the market volatility, where investor does not wonder about idiosyncratic behavior of company leaders and instead focuses on the productivity of its employees, where he looks forward to invest in the company he loves and believes in, where he recognizes that he is in control of the future of companies he invests in rather than trying to predict it. We believe such a stock market will bring financial well-being to the life of every Indian. Dozen Diamonds aims to simplify the market with our unique stressless trading method. Whether you're just starting out or already experienced, we aim to bring you technologies which will make investing easy so you can focus on your goals, not the guesswork. Now imagine this. You invest in a company, it grows, it hires, it innovates, it pays better, it shines brighter. And you earn and grow not just with higher returns, but with better pay and better living standards. The stock market may rise and fall, but the vision must stay steady. With Dozen Diamonds, right strategy, smart recovery from any losses, and patience, you can invest without stress. So ask yourself, where should your money sleep? In a locker of gold or in the engine of a growing India? Invest in Indian businesses. Fuel the future. Turn your capital into a catalyst. Because for your participation in the stock market to be consistent, it needs to be stressless, following the Dozen Diamonds principles of investing. The growth of the country lies in your investment in the stock market. In the growth of your country lies your growth. Dozen Diamonds empowers every investor to achieve financial freedom through stressless investing, helping drive India forward on its path to becoming a developed nation. By building a country of investors, Dozen Diamonds strives to lead India to be the Vishwa Guru of 21st century.
Which team is going first for the first question?
Sales team.
Acha, go ahead.
Okay, so as Pratik sir already explained, the title of today's debate, ideas or knowledge, innovation or resume, what matters more? So the first question was on foundation versus spark, and the question is, can innovation truly exist without a foundation of knowledge, or can great ideas emerge from intuition and curiosity alone? So I will make the strong standard pillars on this thing. So first point I would like to say is knowledge creates visibility and scientific validity. So here I claim innovation requires a scientific base, not just imagination. Without knowledge, ideas cannot be tested, validated, or engineered. As you can see the graph that clearly shows the red dashed line shows that imagination only provides a quick initial boost, but quickly a straight line, a plateau is occurred. As the idea cannot be tested nor engineered and validated without knowledge, so the red lines goes on the plateau. But above that, you can see the blue solid line shows that imagination plus scientific base starts and then grows exponentially. So here, knowledge allows for continuing testing, validation, and engineering of all the original ideas. So this graph represent innovation requires knowledge. And if you just research or some goes on browser, you can find MIT review in the year 2019 that directly state 70% of successful innovations come from individuals with deep domain knowledge. These people understood the mechanism, the limitations of the field. Here, I would like to state a capacity parameter, which is absorptive capacity. So, this is the ability to recognize, understand, and apply new information. And this all things are on the basis of knowledge. So, here, this capacity comes only from knowledge, not curiosity. And if we go more behind on historical evidence, I would like to just point on the straight the Wright brothers. People imagine flying for thousands of years, but the Wright brothers studied bird aerodynamics, researched wing wrapping, and lift and drag. Understood. So their knowledge, not imagination, created controlled flight. Moreover, we all know James Watt, a steam engine revolution. So the steam engine existed before Watt, but he understood thermodynamics and made it efficient. This is all revolving around the knowledge. His scientific understanding sparked the industrial revolution, not the original idea. And moreover, this is the third example from my historical things that has happened in the world. Like we all know, Lewis used microbiological knowledge to prove germ theory. So here knowledge moved humanity, not raw intuition. And I would like to state that ideas inspire, knowledge provides. If I move forward and my state point for pillar 2 is resume shows execution capability, and I would like to give a short term for innovation that is 10% idea, 90% iteration. So here again I claim a resume is not just qualification. It is evidence of competency, consistency, and execution capability, the real drivers of innovation. Okay, coming on the research, reasoning, and all, the SGS, Stanford Graduate School of Business 2021 found that experienced innovators success 3x more often than the first time idea generators because they can iterate, scale, and manage resources, and they are in the structured form. So here execution abilities come from experience.
30 seconds left.
Okay. And you all know Thomas Edison, also Henry Ford. These all are the great examples of knowledge based. And now I would like to, in short, just give modern world real example also. So here you can find Google search engine where uh, the parameters are of performance, global scaling, and all. So behind the Google search is also a
Time up,
innovation.
Akib.
Okay. So I should stop my screen.
Yeah. Go ahead, customer service team.
Yeah, Akib, I want to point out to the one thing that was mentioned that Wright brothers were someone who actually Richard, this is not the rebuttal time. Okay. Go ahead. Yeah, so sorry. Can innovation truly, the same question, I'm going over it. Can innovation truly exist without a foundation of knowledge? Or can great idea idea emerges from intuition and curiosity alone? So if I have to talk about this, what does intuition actually stand for? Is something that you have to create a new thing which is primarily driven by instinct, imagination, or subconscious understanding. without any rules or regulation. There is no prototype. You have to do things like that. When that generally happen when it comes from gut feeling, curiosity, and some pattern recognition, or also sometimes a bad customer experience also compels you to go in that direction or choose in that direction. So there are couple of companies which are great examples of this, like Walt Disney. It is a company at the time of Walt Disney. There was no company. It was formed by Walt Disney. He had no formal education. There was nothing in animation side. He just wanted some characters so emotionally who could connect to people, right? And that all, and he wanted to do something in storytelling. He wanted to just reform how stories were told, and that gave birth of something very nice as animations. Then we have Harley Davidson. Harley Davidson is also, again, when he was designing the motorcycles, the idea was he wants people to make machine that feels very amazing. Amazon started as just an idea where he wanted to sell books to people, and he wanted that books should be sold to people. Airbnb started क्योंकि उन्होंने गैप देखा था. They just found a gap and they thought it was not even a gap. They just wanted, there were 4 people and they wanted to list their apartment just to earn extra income and they can manage it through. तो आप अगर ये सब एग्जांपल्स देख रहे हो, Amazon started as उनको सिर्फ बुक सेल करना था. They didn't want it to be the Amazon Jeff. Even I don't think so Jeff Bezos ने सोचा होगा कि he will be a multi billionaire when he started with it. जब 1999 में जब वो गैरेज से स्टार्ट हुआ था. Apple started as something के उनको just एक कंपनी बनानी थी, प्रोडक्ट. Steve Jobs was not convinced to have phone as a product. फिर all the people in his company, the developers and the designers, convinced him to go ahead with the idea. It turned out to be really successful. All this works on institution. Culture Circle, which is a very Indian start. Let's go to Indian startup. Culture Circle, Zomato's, all the newest startup. If you see, all of them started 10 years back. Zomato started as Foodie Bay. It was just started out of passion, where Dipinder Goyal want to list certain companies with certain cafes with good reviews. You have seen it form today, right? So to come to your thing, obviously it starts with an idea. If Dipinder Goyal didn't had the problem to go and find out some cafes, and if he didn't wanted to list it, intuition. Without intuition, how can you work? All this started with just a small intuition of making things better. Airbnb started as a hunch, and today it's one of the biggest companies in the world. So that brings me to my conclusion or my statement that we are not even telling that you might not need a knowledge. You will definitely need knowledge, but intuition sparks a lot of it. When Airbnb people found the way people are going to adopt and the way people are liking their idea, they had to get down and work for it. And to work or to implement an idea, you need to study things. But that happened after they have those hunts. So there are a couple of researches and studies which says that 49% of innovations come from outside sources. And there was a study which was given by Aurora, Collin and Walsh. It's a working paper that mostly the
30
ideas
seconds left.
sorry
30 seconds left, I think.
most of the ideas that they came from in manufacturing sector were from outside ideas. Similarly, there are a lot of researches on this. About 50% in firms are doing research via customer suppliers, universities, and all of that. And I see a lot of companies are rewarding their employees to think out of the box, to think on intuitions, to work on
Time.
it.
Time.
Yeah. So that's about the.
Okay, so I admire everything what you said, but I'll ask only one question, Richa. Like you are saying, intuition will lead to success, right? Intuition से सब हो जाएगा, है ना? And before that, Like, I agree. I also agree. Intuition can spark an idea, but idea is not innovation. Execution is innovation,
No,
and
no,
execution needs
एक
knowledge.
minute, एक minute. Richa,
Mhm.
it is his time.
Yeah.
Unless he asks you a question, let him speak. Mhm.
And execution needs knowledge, right? So, i- are you okay in saying that intuition से सक्सेस मिल जाएगा? सिर्फ मैं इंट्यूशन के बेसिस पे मैं सक्सेसफुल हो जाऊंगा, मेरे को कोई डेटा सेट्स नहीं लगेंगे, मेरे को कोई हिस्टोरिकल डेटाज नहीं लगेंगे, मेरे को कोई चेन्स नहीं लगेंगी, या सिस्टम्स नहीं लगेगा, या मेरे को सिर्फ इंट्यूशन इंट्यूशन ऐड करते जाऊंगी और मैं एक डायरेक्शन पे पहुंच जाऊंगी. Is
So,
that what you are saying?
okay, every good idea should come from that intuition, that integrity or that spark. मैं ये नहीं बोल रही कि नॉलेज नहीं चाहिए. ऑब्वियसली मैं तो बोल ही रही थी मेरे उसमें कि अगर आप इम्प्लीमेंट करोगे वो आइडिया को, जैसे अमेजोन ने भी किया या फिर इवन एयरबीएनबी ने किया, जब वो इम्प्लीमेंट किया, इट्स अ टेक कंपनी बनी, तो टेक कंपनी बनी तो उनको नॉलेज गेन करना पड़ेगा चीजों में. बट वो कब होगा? व्हेन दे गेट अ ग्रेट आइडिया. ठीक है, देर आर अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल हु हैव अ लॉट ऑफ नॉलेज. अगर सब लोगों के पास जो भी नॉलेज होगा, अगर सबके पास ही ग्रेट आइडिया का प्रोस्पेक्ट होगा, तो कोई एम्प्लॉय बचेगा ही नहीं ना. एवरीवन विल स्टार्ट अ न्यू कंपनी टुडे टुमारो. यू, मी, I guess Lakshmi, Huzefa, everyone will start a company. Why we are not start a company? Because we don't have that great idea or that great intuition. You tell me,
अच्छा,
if you have a great idea, all of us have knowledge of stock market, don't we? हम सबके पास knowledge है. But do we have that intuition, that great idea
ठीक है,
that we can work on?
ठीक
नहीं,
है,
that
ओके.
work.
हाँ, बट ग्रेट आइडिया, ठीक है, मैं ग्रेट आइडिया को अभी एक्सटेंड करता हूँ. तो ग्रेट आइडिया मेरे को ऐसा लगता है 1% है बस. एक ग्रेट
But
आइडिया आया,
there is no clear claim that great ideas has only 1% involvement in the process of innovation.
तो
The
कितने
graph that you
परसेंट है? आप
showed,
बताओ, आप बताओ.
I don't know, and that's why I'm not claiming that it is only
अच्छा,
1% or 10%. The
ठीक है,
graph that you showed, there were two types of innovation. The first is limited innovation, and the second one is highly innovation. Both of those kind of innovation involve imagination, right? You yourself in the graph has showed that imagination is required. So we are not saying that knowledge is not required. The question is whether we do need the foundation of knowledge for having to generate great ideas. Our point is we only
The
need
customer
awareness.
service team rebuttal time has started. Yeah.
Okay. So our point is we only need awareness of anything to generate the great ideas, and later on when we develop those ideas into the like into more refined form, we do need knowledge in the later part. But at the beginning, we only need awareness of any situation.
And to add to Lakshmi's point, I want to say, if there would not be great ideas, there would not be things. We wouldn't have this Make in India movement, and there would not have been a lot of startups coming up with this space. Honestly, and our company is one of the idea which started with a great idea. And Pratik wanted to work on the underline that there should not be stress in the markets, or how we look, or how our approach is towards the market. And that turned out into this strategy. Correct? So again, it started with a hunch, with a curiosity, with intuition. The intuition was he didn't wanted um stress in the market, and that's how he didn't thought he will design a strategy, and that strategy will be designed in this way. But then he had to gain knowledge to execute it, and that's what we are completely agreeing to it. But the idea, the intuition, the curiosity was why people are so stressed in markets, and how can we stop that. So again, great ideas need to be have that passion, that curiosity, that intensity to implement it. And for implementation, we need knowledge. We all are also, all of us, at least let me just talk about equity instructor team. I was also part of it. We all do stock market. We all have
Hmm.
knowledge of it, but we are still lacking that one great idea to start a company.
Hmm.
We have knowledge, right?
And that ideas come from like without any past or without any experience, that idea just blundered from somewhere or anything like this.
That's
Where
what
that,
Yes,
We are
Yes, I
lacking.
think Pratik sir is the example of that. He didn't have the knowledge of stock market earlier. He didn't know the what algo platforms are doing right now. He just had the awareness of the stock market.
Yeah. We are still figuring out a lot of things. There is every single day where we have to read a lot of circulars, lot of SEBI rules, and this space itself is very new in India. So that is the point that we are trying to drive.
Hmm.
Knowledge, we are getting knowledgeable every single day. Because to execute a business, we will need knowledge. But the whole thing started with a great idea that people should not be stressed as they
हाँ,
are.
अब वही मैं भी बोल रहा हूँ कि ये सब ग्रेट आइडिया शुरू करने के लिए, सब चीज करने के लिए, स्ट्रेस हटाने के लिए कुछ तो
सर को
लगेगा ना।
सर को
I
नॉलेज
Awareness.
I believe
Awareness
you
लगेगा.
guys, Richa and Lakshmi, you guys are going off the topic. You have to favor that basically the intuition starts without any requirement of knowledge, but you guys are favoring us, saying
हाँ,
that
थैंक यू फॉर
knowledge is
दैट।
required. So the
Okay.
whole point of our presentation was to showcase that knowledge is required. The basic foundation of knowledge is required to
चलो थोड़ा
spark
टाइम देते हैं ऑडियंस को।
चलो
the
ओके।
मेरे
idea.
पास 3 और क्वेश्चन बाकी हैं, बहुत कुछ बोलने के लिए बाकी है, थोड़ा ऑडियंस को टाइम देते हैं। Audience, what did you think? What did you feel about what the two teams said? What would you want to hear further? Would you want to hear more evidence, or would you want to hear more arguments? What would you prefer? Please share.
सर इंद्रजीत,
हाँ,
सर बिना जैसे नॉलेज बोलते तो सब पर उस बारे में पता रहना चाहिए ना, वो पर्टिकुलर चीज के बारे में, तब जाके इन्वेशन हो जाएगा।
हाँ भाव, हमको 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 पता है ना, हमको, मैं तो बोल ही रही हूँ ना, मेरे को स्टॉक मार्केट के बारे में पता है, आपको स्टॉक मार्केट के बारे में पता है, करेक्ट। हमको इनोवेशन ला रहे हैं नहीं, हमको आइडिया ला रहे हैं। नॉट नेसेसरी कि नॉलेज हो तो आप इनोवेट कर ही सकते हो।
एंड द थिंग इज कि जो आपका क्वेश्चन है, टू आंसर दैट, हमें नॉलेज नहीं, हमें बस अवेयरनेस होना जरूरी है, राइट। ग्रेट आइडियाज जनरेट होने के बेसिकली रीजन क्या होते हैं? डिससेटिस्फैक्शन, ऑब्जर्वेशन। अगर मैं कोई चीज को ऑब्जर्व ही नहीं करूंगी, अगर मुझे लेट्स से कि मैंने कोई चीज यूज की, कोई प्रोडक्ट यूज किया, मैं उसको लेके डिससेटिस्फाई हुई, ओके, देन मुझे लगा कि ये चीज ऐसे नहीं होनी चाहिए, प्रोडक्ट में कुछ चेंजेस आने चाहिए, तो दैट मेड मी क्यूरियस टू जनरेट न्यू आइडियाज कि इसमें क्या चेंजेस आने चाहिए। सो वी जस्ट नीड अवेयरनेस and not the knowledge to generate great ideas.
Lakshmi, what does the awareness give you in return? What does it help create, according to you?
Like it helps me to, like, as I'm saying, it helps me to like this is the like starting of the process of generating new ideas. I need to be aware. I just need to be aware of anything to think about it, to become curious about it, and later
So
on
when you're curious about something, what does it lead to? What does it result in?
ma'am, please pardon.
I'm saying when you show curiosity, when you're aware, when you show curiosity, it is leading to you gaining knowledge, right?
Yeah, so that's what.
Yes, exactly. We are
And you're
also
saying only awareness is important, knowledge is not important. Actually, awareness is what creates
awareness is
knowledge.
important, to be curious, right? To be curious about that thing, and later on we will need knowledge to like develop anything on that curiosity or on that thought.
देखो लक्ष्मी,
Let me add one point to your thing, that you are guys are claiming that you have knowledge of stock market and still you are not innovating, you don't have that curiosity. So maybe the answer is that you don't have the enough knowledge of it. You believe that you have knowledge of stock market, but you don't have enough as the others who are innovating, others who have doing things are having much more higher level of knowledge than you.
adding
That's the
adding on
reason you are not able to innovate something. That's the
adding
reason you are not able to find out the problem. Basically, innovation is something coming up new to resolve something
see
in simple language. So you are not able to identify the problem or the requirement. That's the reason you are not able to innovate, and which is the reason you are lacking knowledge about it.
see everyone is aware about the diseases, Lakshmi, but only the deep medical knowledge created vaccines. मेडिकल हर कोई अवेयर है बीमारी के बारे में। एंड अर्लियर लाइक कम्युनिकेशन वाज स्लो। देन इंजीनियर ने टेलीफोन लाया ना, कोई संत या डॉक्टर ने नहीं लाया। देन दीज आर द पॉइंट्स आल्सो ना, नॉलेज है तो ही अवेयरनेस आ रहा है।
फिर तो
Okay, to
उस
answer your
भाई,
claim,
मेरे को एक
Josefa.
क्वेश्चन पूछना था कि अगर अंबानी अगर पाउडर बेच रहा है तो जरूरी है कि अंबानी को पूरा नॉलेज है पाउडर बनाने का?
एग्जैक्टली
उसके पास सिस्टम है
डेफिनेटली
ना एक
डेफिनेटली उसके पास और नॉलेज होगा
सिस्टम
तभी उसके पास लाइसेंसेस होंगे,
सिस्टम
उसके
बट
पास
उसके पास
एम्प्लॉयज होंगे जो काम करेंगे वो उसने
सॉरी
रिसर्च करके। जैसे अगर आप बोल रहे हो कि वो पाउडर बेच रहा है, राइट, पाउडर इज अ प्रोडक्ट, राइट, सो अगर आपको
हल्दी
किसी
किसी
प्रोडक्ट को मार्केट में बेचना भी है तो यू हैव द ट्रेड लाइसेंस, नो, यू नीड
पाउडर ऐसे
लाइसेंसिंग,
बेचने देते क्या?
यू नीड
नहीं,
यू
बट
नीड
वो
सर्टिफिकेशंस।
बेचने का आइडिया के लिए उसको पाउडर का कुछ जानना पड़ा क्या? जैसे आप अभी नॉलेज की बात कर रहे हो ना,
हम्म,
तो उसके माइंड में तो बस आइडिया है मेरे को बेचना है, तो उस
करेक्ट
चीज का
करेक्ट,
उसको नॉलेज क्या था?
एंड टू
दैट
ऑल्सो
समथिंग इज अबाउट
अगर
बिजनेस, दिस इज
जस्ट
समथिंग
जस्ट
अबाउट बिजनेस यू आर
नहीं,
टॉकिंग, बट वी आर
तो
टॉकिंग अबाउट
बिजनेस
इनोवेशन।
जैसे अभी आप
Innovation
बोल
is
रहे हो
different,
कि
business is different.
Guys, let's not talk over each other. Let's give. We have ample time, so take your time, make your
या
point, and get the other side a time. Some time to. Yeah.
पॉइंट एनीथिंग टू
तरुण ने क्वेश्चन पूछा है, उसमें तो लाइक बिजनेस एंड प्रोडक्ट से रिलेटेड हो गया, उसके लिए एक डिफरेंट सिस्टम होता है, तो
That's
इट इज
something
नॉट लाइक
about
कि
business. It's not about
या
innovation. उसमें कुछ
Okay,
innovate नहीं किया पाउडर बेचने के लिए.
I have quick example for Huzefa's question. Huzefa said कि Richa don't have enough knowledge about the stock markets, hence she was not able to innovate, right? So there are so many people here who has enough knowledge of stock market, right? Huzefa, even maybe Richa don't have, but there are other people, like there are other people those who have the knowledge of stock market, right? But there are 7 hidden strategies in our coach app, but
Wait,
no
wait, wait,
one
guys,
has
guys, guys, guys. Lakshmi, sorry to interrupt you, but
uh,
let me talk to you with a straightforward line that there is no definition with respect to a proper knowledge. First of all, that's my understanding. There is no proper definition. Even if you are spending your whole life, right? If still, I'll just take the example from Pratik sir. अभी प्रतीक सर ने STM बनाया, बट प्रतीक सर एवरी डे इज ट्राइंग टू इनोवेट इट, उसमें से कुछ ना कुछ नया निकल रहा है। सो कैन आई से कि आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि उनको नॉलेज नहीं है, इट इज ऑल अबाउट यू कैन नॉट अंडरस्टैंड एवरीथिंग, यू कैन नॉट हैव दी ऑल द नॉलेज यू यू कैन ग्रास्प फ्रॉम द
यस
मार्केट। इफ आई से कि अगर मैं
एग्जैक्टली
मार्केट में
निशांत।
पिछले लेट मी कंप्लीट जावेद, लेट मी कंप्लीट। अगर मैं पिछले मार्केट में 50 साल से काम कर रहा हूँ, इट डजेंट मीन कि मुझे मार्केट का पूरा नॉलेज है।
ओके
दैट्स राइट, दैट इज
निशांत आर यू डन आई हैव टू रिबटल आई हैव टू
बट
गिव द फॉर थ्री थिंग्स सो व्हाट
बट
निशांत सेड एग्जैक्टली व्हाट वी वांट टू टेल यू कि नॉलेज तो चाहिएगा ही ना इम्प्लीमेंट करने के लिए पर आइडिया इट्स अबाउट द आइडिया और वो आइडिया सिर्फ प्रतीक सर को आया नहीं आया वो क्यूरियोसिटी वो इंटेंसिटी से वो पैशनेटली प्रतीक सर को आया आके टू आंसर योर क्वेश्चन
तो
कि
क्यों आया वो?
क्योंकि वो
because he
वो
was curious.
बिकॉज ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस,
No,
बिकॉज
no,
ऑफ
no, no. Let
पैटर्न।
me tell you. Let
हाँ
me tell you.
बोल।
This is the words which I have heard from Pratik sir. I clearly remember on one of the conversation where the Pratik sir was explaining about his journey कि वो trading करते थे तो he made a lot of money and ended up losing it multiple times, right? So that gave him a lot of stress, and from that he got curious that he should think of something which makes the system stressless, a stressless trading method which does not give any stress, because when the profit and loss figure goes ups and downs, when it is in green color, then also we have that stress or with that anxiety that we should square off our positions, or when it goes in red we also may do over trading to reduce our losses. So these were the problems which Pratik sir identified and ultimately came up with this whole plan and whole strategy. So
नहीं,
this
बट अभी यस,
so
But
this is the reason behind that.
मुझे आपने अभी
चलो मेरे बारे में इतनी
ट्रेंड
बात हो रही है तो मैं एक पॉइंट रेज करता हूँ.
यस
I'm not supporting or presenting the point as against anybody, but I think it's a very intricate dance between knowledge and innovation. In fact, oftentimes whatever I have seen is that knowledge gets in the way of innovation. Right? The more you know about the topic, the less you feel कि इसमें innovation का कोई scope है. Right? People that have, like, for example, when you are presenting your PhD thesis or presenting your topic, your audience is usually people that are much more knowledgeable than you. And oftentimes, a large part of their participation is by opposing you, by challenging your idea, right? So, oftentimes, knowledge, I believe, gets in the way of innovation. But then, of course, there's an intricate dance that is played between knowledge and innovation. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to take 2 minutes. I want to give rebuttals to people. सॉरी आकिब, अगर आपने बोला था कि इंजीनियर ने ही टेलीफोन बनाया है और इंजीनियर्स ने वही किया है, तो जो न्यू एज कंपनीज है, जो फाउंडर्स नॉन टेक बैकग्राउंड से है, वो आजकल टेक कंपनियां खड़ी नहीं कर सकते। उस हिसाब से तो दीपेंद्र गोयल ने जोमेटो नहीं बनाया होता, उसने ब्लिंकिट नहीं किया होता अक्वायर्ड। ठीक है, दैट इज वन थिंग। सेकंड, हुजैफा, आप बोल रहे हो कि नॉलेज तो होगी ही, और हम इटरेट कर रहे हैं एवरी सिंगल डे नॉलेज के ऊपर ही। अगर उतना होता तो हमें हर सर्कुलर पढ़ना नहीं पड़ता, देन वी वुड नॉट हैव टू स्ट्रगल एवरीथिंग एंड द कंपनी वुड हैव लॉन्च्ड वेरी सून। सेकंड थिंग। थर्ड, निशांत, मैं
बिना पढ़े कुछ भी, बिना पढ़े ऐसे ही हो जाएंगे क्या? फिर पढ़ना तो पड़ेगा ही ना।
आकिब, लेट मी फिनिश। निशांत, आपने जो बोला कि नॉलेज कभी पूरा नहीं हो सकता, एग्जैक्टली दैट इज द पॉइंट। इट इज नॉट अबाउट नॉलेज हम सबके पास है, पर वो इंटेंसिटी, वो क्यूरियोसिटी, वो इनोवेशन वाला एंगल नहीं है हमारे पास, वो आइडिया वाला एंगल हमारे पास नहीं है। और मैं कब से वही बोल रही हूँ। रही बात सर की, सर डिडंट स्टार्ट विथ ही वांट टू मेक अ ग्रेट स्ट्रैटेजी, ही स्टार्टेड विथ कि स्ट्रेस नहीं है मार्केट में। स्ट्रैटेजी बहुत लोग बनाते हैं, देयर आर अ लॉट ऑफ एल्गो ट्रेडिंग प्लेटफॉर्म आइडियाज, बहुत लोग बोल रहे पैसे बना के देंगे। द वे वी आर पैकेजिंग आवर प्रोडक्ट इज कंप्लीटली अ वेरी इनोवेटिव आइडिया। हमारा क्या बोलते हैं, यूनिक सेलिंग प्रपोजिशन ही है कि वी आर
चलो
गिविंग अ
सेकंड क्वेश्चन स्टार्ट करते हैं। अभी
Yeah,
तक तो बहुत बढ़िया डिबेट चल रहा है, मेरे को तो बहुत मजा आया है। चलो सेकंड क्वेश्चन स्टार्ट करते हैं।
So the second question is merit versus potential. Does a resume reflect one's true capability or their past opportunities and privilege? So again, same going. The pillar one. A resume captures demonstrated ability, not theoretical ability. The HBR, Harvard Business Review, in 2022, people who succeed repeatedly have a predictable performance curve. Past performance is the strongest indicator of future capability. So here, if you look on the Google's project and all, those top performers had consistently strong past records. Resumes highlight that record and capabilities. Here, we can look on a real world example. APJ Abdul Kalam got the role of project director of SLV-3 because he had a proven record as an aerospace engineer, not simply potential. His resume showed results, not privilege. Now, on my pillar 2 point, hard earned merit and privileged without skill. So this graph proves the hard earned merit is superior to privilege without skills. Here, initial advantage bar, that is the left chart, that it is showing a pattern of high initial advantages but low term performance. Initial advantages bar, it connections and inheritance and status are high, and the sustained performance, that is dashed line. The dashed line shows the performance dropping and remaining low without actual skill to back up the initial advantage. So here privilege provides a quick lift, but the lack of skill causes the advantage of quickly failing. And the hard earned merit, the right chart. So the initial advantages bar, knowledge, it states with knowledge, experience, and discipline. So here it represents a slow or modest starting point based purely on effort. Solid line, the solid line shows performance growing and remaining high. It consistently strong because it is built on genuine skills and efforts. So here, merit may require a slower start, but the foundation of skill ensures high, lasting, and success over time. And we can come on the LinkedIn workforce report. Candidates with strong project histories are hired 67% faster than the candidate who rely on the potential. Here, strong project is the green one, and the red one rely on the potential. Because of hiring managers value proven capability over background, like if he is having a strong resume, so he will have 67% faster hiring. My pillar three is resume, accountability plus track record. So here, a resume forces a person to be accountable for what they claim. It captures the skilled learned projects, challenges faced, and all the potential that cannot be measured, a resume can. In this research, the MIT in 2021, people with clear career achievement outperform high potential, and the candidates by 30 to 50% goes on the managerial role. Because potential does not guarantee execution, execution requires knowledge and experience, and that should be in the resume. And here I would like to just give my final point on privilege alone cannot create competence. Here the chart shows that privilege are competence are and strongly connected. The data points are scattered everywhere.
30
So
seconds more.
here like having a high privilege does not guaranteed success, performance, or innovation. As you can see in the top left corner, we see people with high privilege but low competence. So those who had advantages but could not convert them into result. In the bottom right corner, we can see opposite high individuals who start with very little privilege but build their
Time up.
merit through hard work and knowledge.
Time up, Akib. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, please stop sharing. Richa, go ahead.
Yeah, so the second question is about what is resume and how does it reflect, or does it reflect it's your true capability, or it's just past opportunities or about privilege? So first of all, what does people understand by resume? It's just a piece of paper which tells you what your history has done. A lot of time it kind of actually mentions to omit how privilege is used more than that. There are times when people have better colleges because they could afford it, or they know so and so people, that's why they were hired. Family networks is also one thing. Internships because they were part of a great school or a great opportunity that comes to the way. So that are the underlining things that sometimes often get missed in the resume, and no one will tell you till the time it's very late. Financial stability is also one thing that kind of reflects in it. But if you see as we move on in the past couple of years, on to the next slide, if you go, if you see that in the past couple of years, the need, not in US, but all around the world, the need to have bachelor degrees have reduced significantly. This is a study done by Indeed that this is share of US job posting requiring at least a bachelor's salary, at least has decreasing a lot. So, and similarly, if you see this is the study conducted by HBS, and the source is Burning Glass Institution, of which takes data on job everything. A lot of times skill-based hiring has happened, and job posting has removed some minimum requirements or minimum criteria that you have to pass this. And generally, if you go through the level of job, there are 4 levels of job. One is entry level, the second is technical, then it comes to strategic, and then we have executive CSOs and CXOs. While the resume works for the operational level and technical levels, if you move forward up the ladder, you see there are a lot of people who will working with the same resume, same job, but not every one of you will be on the top making it to CXO or CEOs. There will be one CEO, and why that one CEO will be selected? Because of the skills that he shows, because of the extra interest that he's showing, or because of the extra things that he is doing. That is why he is selected as the CEO and not you, or not the resume that you might have started with. There are a lot of CEOs and CXOs which have not come from IITs, IIMs, but they are CEOs, and we see a lot of people who are there. That is one thing. And we see a lot day by day startups, not just now, not just around the world, even in India, if you see that startups are hiring for generic role. They are not seeing what your resumes are. They are looking for skill set. They are looking for the projects that you have built. And the researches also show that only 12% of the company hire now on open resume based. And mostly 70%, as what I have said, 70% roles are filled internally, not via resume. And and as shown by a McKinsey report, which I also mentioned, that 70% is internal hire or internal promotion as CEO. So those are all the numbers. And I remember, I'll just narrate one story where, I don't know if you remember this, but Dipinder Goyal is a marketing genius. We all know that. And he has, okay, yeah. I'll complete the story and then I'll come to this, that he has posted one, he wanted a chief of staff member. He wanted a person to hire for a chief of staff role. What he did was a very marketing genius. He posted that, forget about the degrees and all, you will not be paid also to get the job. And on top of that, you have to pay the money. That was 20 lakhs to get this job. Well, there were a lot of opinions and a lot of buzz around it. Still, a lot of people applied. And next day, when the things came out, and he told, I was not expecting this number of jobs. And he realized that the resumes that I've gotten are actually the people who want to work, and some of them have also not worked in the same thing. But he used the filter where people who genuinely want to apply has only given the resume. And that's what startup hiring mostly are.
20 seconds more.
Yeah, a lot of people. Okay. And the reason why internal hirings are also preferred, because first of all, the familiarity, the trust that happens, the cultural alignment is there. And external hires take a lot of more time. Plus, let's just take example of our
Timer.
own service. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Richa, in one of your slides, there were companies mentioned that removing degree requirements, something like that,
Okay. Yeah.
right? Degrees but they are not removing skill requirement.
So
This
how will
actually
you?
supports our slide, not yours. Employer are shifting from degree-based hiring to skill-based, which means they now value the knowledge you can prove, and that is stated on his resume for accountability of his work and past experience.
Okay. First thing, if you are getting hired for your knowledge, you will be hired. You will not come up with a great idea. So you are nullifying your points. First thing. Second thing, I'm not telling that your resume will have, obviously, resume, a person who is not gone to college will also have resume. He will have resume of working things, of all the projects that he has worked on. So we are talking here about कि bachelor degrees is needed or not. It's just his.
So our
No,
claim
no,
is that
we are working on, does a resume reflect one true capability? Bachelor
Yeah.
degree and all, or
Okay,
past
just remember,
opportunity.
by
Okay,
asking questions, you are giving up your time to the other team. If
So
you're doing
let
that
me
consciously, that makes sense, but be careful.
no, sir. Let me add that opposition argues that the potential matters more than experience, but the potential is invisible. It cannot be measured, tested, or guaranteed. A resume, on the other hand, contains things that are concrete, verified, and repeated over the time. If a person is improved a process by 30%, that's capability. If they build a system used by thousands, that's capability. If they earned certification and completed projects, that's capability. These are not privileged advantages. These are personal efforts, skills, and disciplines that shows who the person really is. In the real world, potential is a promise, but capability is proof. So let me share a simple real world truth that destroys the idea that resume only shows privileges. Thousands of self-taught programs, designs, and
30
digital
seconds left.
marketings today come come from a small town, ordinary families, and zero connections. They learned online, build projects, upload their work on Gigbid, LinkedIn, and every project they completed becomes a resume line.
Okay.
These
So
people get hired globally not because of privilege, but because of the resume shows the real capabilities. Their background didn't get them the job, their work did, their skills did,
Time up.
their achievement
Time
did.
up.
This
yeah, yeah, yeah.
proves that resume matters.
Okay, so our point is, if a resume truly shows the true capability, why
Rebuttal
don't
time for customer service team has started. Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. If the resume shows truly like true capability of the respected person, so why don't executive role and managerial roles are filled with the help of resume? As we shown in the graph, the resume usage gets decreases when the position wise the level increases of the jobs, right? In the study, Akib sourced Harvard Business Review, right? But that particular research shows that. Let me share the screen just a second. Okay, so Akib mentioned about the Harvard Business Review. That study shows over 70% of executive roles are filled internally, not via resumes. So the examples that you have used itself has mentioned with the like certain percentage that 70% of executive roles are filled internally and not via resumes. So this is my point key. If resume truly shows true capability of the person, then the executive role and manager roles should also be filled by the with the help of the resume, and it usage to fill those positions should not get decreased. Yes, Richa.
exactly. So that's what we are not telling resumes are completely true, but we all know all of us have lied at our resume at some point. So does it shows you true potential? No, it definitely not. And that's what we are trying to make a point. A resume is also a symptom of what your privilege is, what how privileged you are, and privilege comes from a lot of things: the confidence, the financial stability. See, that's the point that we are trying to make. A kid who has studied in a school which has a which is an international school is a great he will have a great resume because he has been surrounded by that opportunity. But whereas a kid who has studied in government might not, but the skills that but we have seen both of the kids working at the same level. So that's what it proves the point that skills matters more. That kid who might have worked in a government job would have worked a lot on his skills. This is a very generic example that I'm placing, but that's the thing, that not every time not everyone is 100% honest on their resume, which also includes me, you, Akib, Lakshmi. There is one tweak or one line which we have tweaked and we all agree to it. So here the questions remain. Okay, does resume tells you everything? I don't think so it does. But it definitely tells the privilege that I have been. We have. We keep talking about all this Bill Gates, that he's a founder, and he has failed, he has dropped out. But you have to really see the privilege that is coming from. He was in one of the school that had computers in that era. So that is also privilege. That is also
Okay.
privilege.
Rebuttal time over. Let's see what the audience have to say.
Okay, Huzaifa. Okay. So you said one thing. You showed a chart, right? At the end of the presentation. So can you tell what the chart actually means with some scattered points?
Yes, yes, that data points, na.
Mhm.
Actually, that chart shows the data points where it was scattered everywhere. It was proving that having a high level of privilege does not guarantee skill. Like resume में अगर privileged है, like
You can just show the chart once again. Show me the chart. Yeah, this one.
हाँ. So see, above is privilege without
Competence.
competence and merit without privilege. तो यहाँ पे ये यही कह रहा है कि जो privileged है, like बहुत हार्वर्ड से पढ़ा है and all, that doesn't state कि उसके पास guaranteed skilled है.
Tell me about the second part, privilege with competence. So you said merit privilege without privilege is more towards itself compared to privilege with competence. Is that right?
Yeah, so it is the like we can say advantages that couldn't convert into results.
Sorry, I couldn't understand what does that means.
Okay, so if I say in different word,
Privilege alone cannot create competence.
Guys, this is audience time. Let us give the audience some time, na?
अच्छा, ये जो ऐसे पढ़े लिखे लोग हैं, है ना, तो उनके पास आइडिया होता है, ऐसा बोल रहा है.
इंद्रजीत भाव, आप तो सेम टीम से हो ना, यू कैन नॉट.
अरे टीम नहीं, अभी तो वो क्या ना,
नहीं है
अभी
मैं.
ऑडियंस बात कर रहे हैं. ऑडियंस
हाँ,
कैन टॉक. या
तो यानी जितने भी इंजीनियर है उन सबको मैथमेटिक्स आता है.
फटाफट पॉइंट बोल यार इंद्रजीत, टाइम मत
तो
ले.
यानी वही कि नॉलेज अगर है, नॉलेज यानी जितने लोग पढ़े लिखे हुए हैं, और तो आइडिया तो यानी जो नॉलेज और आइडिया जो आता है वो एक ही आदमी में आता है लाखों में से. तो बाकी जो लोग हैं वो पढ़े लिखे अनपढ़ बोल सकते हैं कि नहीं बोल सकते उसको.
उनको क्यूरियोसिटी नहीं है ये बोल सकते हैं.
ओके.
हाँ.
अच्छा, और एक क्वेश्चन है, इमेजिनेशन आइडिया में क्या फर्क है?
Bhav, what you are telling we can explain to you, but we are on a different second question. Imaginations और आइडिया, इमेजिनेशन इज समथिंग जो तुम सोच रहे हो. तुम सोच के कुछ एक आइडिया पे आते हो ना, कि तुम किसी चीज के बारे में सोच रहे हो. जैसे हमने एग्जांपल लिया वॉल्ट डिज्नी का, या वॉल्ट डिज्नी का एग्जांपल लिया. उसके टाइम पे एनिमेशन नहीं था, उसको स्टोरी टेलिंग बोलनी थी अच्छे फॉर्म में. फिर उसको आइडिया कि इसको पिक्चर्स को चलता हुआ बनाते हैं. तो इमेजिनेशन इज कि उसको स्टोरी टेलिंग के लिए एक आर्ट को बेटर तरीके से बनाना. बट द आइडिया दैट केम इज कि उसको एनिमेशन के फॉर्म, उससे एनिमेशन बना है. To explain you the thing, but this is part of first question, not the second.
It doesn't matter. It's audience time. They can talk about anything they want to.
Okay. Yeah, just to explain you what is the
Uh,
difference between imagination and idea.
नहीं, मुझे ऐसा लगता है पर्सनली कि अगर रिज्यूम है और अगर कंपनी है, ठीक है, अगर रिज्यूम चलो अलग पार्ट है, अगर कंपनी की रिक्वायरमेंट्स अगर फुलफिल हो रही है और एक का रिज्यूम है बहुत अच्छा है बट वो अगर रिक्वायरमेंट्स फुलफिल नहीं कर पा रहा है, तो ऐसे इंसान को लेके भी क्या फायदा, सिर्फ उसके रिज्यूम के लिए वो लॉस क्यों करेगी कंपनी?
Correct.
एक
That's why
क्वेश्चन
overqualified people also don't get the job. Overqualified
अभी
people को job
अपने इंडिया में एग्जांपल ले लो ना, आप अगर देखते हो, अगर आप डाटा भी निकालोगे तो मे बी, अब मैं तो ये नहीं हूँ बट देख लेना, आपकी डिग्री वाले जो है वो कितने सारे अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट में है, और जो आईटीआई वाले हैं या जो नॉर्मल 12 बेसिस पे है वो कितने बड़े बड़े पोजीशन पे जाके बिजनेसमैन बन चुके, या वो लोग किस किस बड़े बड़े पोजीशंस में है। खुद ऐसे लोगों को जानता हूँ जो बड़े पोस्ट पर है, मैनेजर, और उनकी अंडर जो काम करते हैं वो उनसे ज्यादा एजुकेटेड लोग हैं, इवन स्टिल वो जो है उनके अंडर में। तो कंपनी की जो ये है रिक्वायरमेंट है, अगर वो पूरी हो रही है और कंपनी के लिए अगर वो प्रॉपरली काम कर पा रहा है, तो और अगर उसका कंपनी का काम हो रहा है, तो उसका रिज्यूम से और उसके स्टेटस से या उसके डिग्री से कंपनी को क्या मतलब है? उसका तो उस काम करवाना है कंपनी को। अब वो तो ऐसा नहीं, लॉस तो नहीं करवा सकते ना कि वो एमबीए वाला बंदा है और मुझे काम टेलीकॉलिंग की करना है, बट वो अच्छे से लोगों से बात नहीं कर पा रहा है पर एमबीए करके बैठा है, तो उसका क्या करेगा इंसान? कंपनी थोड़ी ना लॉस करवाएगी, उसको तो उसके स्किल से मतलब है। तो और सेकंड थिंग, और एक पॉइंट अभी यहाँ पर आया था कि रिज्यूम अगर नहीं होगा तो वो जो स्किल है उसकी अगर जेन्युइन है या नहीं है वो कैसे पता पड़ेगा? तो क्या गारंटी है कि उसने स्किल जो रिज्यूम में डाली है वो चीज़ जेन्युइन है या नहीं है? आप तो टेस्ट जब भी करोगे जब आपको पता पड़ेगा कि आप मतलब उसकी स्किल, अगर आप टेस्ट करते हो वो एक्सपीरियंस करोगे जब भी पता पड़ेगा ना, रिज्यूम में डालने से तो पता नहीं पड़ेगा कि आपकी स्किल जो है वो जेन्युइन है या नहीं है। मुझे पर्सनली ऐसा लगता है कि अगर फिलफिलमेंट हो रही है, मैच हो रहा है, आपके जो वो जो कंपनी प्रॉपरली जो काम करवाना चाहती है वो अगर हो रहा है, तो रिज्यूम का कोई मतलब नहीं बनता है। रिज्यूम आप
तो
अच्छा रहो बुरा रहो उसका।
आपको एक पॉइंट मेरे को यहाँ पे बोलना चाहिए। आपने अगर रिज्यूमे देखे होंगे मोस्टली, तो वहाँ पर एक नीचे में एक डिस्क्लेमर होता है जिसमें हम लिखते हैं कि ऑल द अबव मेंशन इन्फॉर्मेशन इज टू बी ट्रू एंड करेक्ट एज पर माय नॉलेज, राइट? व्हाट दैट
राइट
मीन्स इज वी आर कंसेंटिंग कि हम जो लिख रहे हैं रिज्यूमे में वो 100% सच है, एंड हम
हुजैफा
उसको
तो आप
एक
उसको
मिनट ऋचा,
लेट मी
ऋचा एक
लेट मी
मिनट,
कंप्लीट लेट मी
एक मिनट
कंप्लीट
ऋचा, एक मिनट।
that justifies the fact that whatever we are writing on the resume is 100% true। हमारे पास वो सारे सर्टिफिकेशंस है, हमने वो सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स एंड सारे स्किल्स पे काम किया है। हम ऐसी कोई भी झूठ इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं लिखते हैं नॉर्मली। एक नॉर्मल ह्यूमन बीइंग, एक नॉर्मल कैंडिडेट। अब रिचा जो बोल रही थी इन पास्ट कि हमने सबने ही झूठ लिखा होगा या थोड़ा बहुत गलत लिखा होगा, आई डोंट एग्री टू दैट, राइट? हम
अगर
लोग डिस्क्लेमर हर रिज्यूमे में लिखा होता है।
है, अगर आप
देखिए
कहीं जॉब लेने जाते हो तो आप कितना सच बोलते हो, कितना झूठ और आपके पास क्या डाटा है कि वो जो उन्होंने बोला है या उन्होंने बोला है कि मैं ट्रूथ रखा हूँ
नहीं,
और
अभी
मैंने
अपन
जो सच।
ऐसे डाइवर्ट नहीं करते हैं डिस्कशन को। दिस इज नॉट, लेट अस फॉर दिस डिस्कशन अज्यूम कि जो रेज्यूमे लिखा है इन गुड फेथ ही लिखा है।
ऐसा नहीं है।
definitely
वन
actually
वन
I have
पॉइंट
सुनो,
same question।
नहीं नहीं,
एक क्वेश्चन है मेरा। इफ
ये सुनो,
इसको
एक
लक्ष्मी
मिनट के
है
लिए
तो
तुम्हारा चेहरा दिखाने को बोला, तुम किया नहीं किया ना, तो क्या है क्या नहीं, ये बड़ा बड़ा बात करने का
टीचर
फिर भी छोड़ने का दिल नहीं आता है, क्या करेगा? ओके, जो कुछ पैसा भी हमें दो
आई गेस
तुम।
थॉमस
Someone
सर,
mic says.
या थॉमस सर
हाँ,
वांट टू
सुन
से
रहे हैं ना,
समथिंग आई गेस।
किधर है तुम? छद में आया आज भी तुम? आज
शिबू
हाँ
सर कुछ
हाँ,
बोल रहे हैं,
तो
बोलिए
चिल्लाओ
शिबू
मत,
सर क्या
आराम से
बोल रहे हैं?
हिंदी सुनाओ ना,
आई थिंक
थोड़ा प्यार से। हाँ, प्यार से बात।
ही इज टॉकिंग टू समबडी
थोड़ा
एल्स
सा
आई गेस।
somebody else,
ओके
अच्छा
ओके,
ठीक
हाँ
है।
हाँ,
तो
कहने का
कहना
बताओ,
है
मैं बताओ
हिंदी।
बताओ बताओ बताओ
कैन
बताओ
समवन
मेरे को
बताओ,
प्लीज
लगा
म्यूट?
कि
जो
हम
कुछ
में से किसी से प्यार से बात
सुन
नहीं।
रहे हैं ना।
इसको
ठीक है
बंद कर
गाइस,
दो सब।
प्रोसीड
हाँ,
प्रोसीड।
Sir, can someone please mute
ओके
the mic of Shibu sir? That would be really helpful.
लेट मी ट्राई या
Yeah. Okay.
आई डिड आई गेस।
अच्छा ठीक है। चलो गाइस, अभी भी 3 मिनट हैं।
हाँ,
So sir,
लक्ष्मी एंड
3 मिनट
रीचा आई हैव
में
वन क्वेश्चन।
यस
Hello, you are a HR. If you both are HR or high level management, and if two people have equal potential but different resume, should hiring ignore the achievement of the more experienced and knowledgeable candidate? This is not no.
बट जब आपने बोला इक्वल स्किल सेट है,
No, I not
एंड
say equal skill set. I say equal potential.
बट हाउ डू वी कैलकुलेट द पोटेंशियल इज इक्वल और नॉट? द पोटेंशियल तो रेज्यूमे देख के नहीं पता चलता है ना सर।
चलो
So
मैं तुमको, लेट मी शेयर वन सिंपल फैक्ट। मैं रेज्यूमे पढ़ता भी नहीं। आई नेवर ओपन एनीबडीज रेज्यूमे, आई जस्ट हैव अ कन्वर्सेशन विद देम एंड फिगर आउट whether they will fit. But anyway, this is not about, see, the debate is not about who can get a job and who can't get a job. It's about who can perform, right?
एग्जैक्ट
So let's keep that in mind. And wo performance ka, the point is, at the end of the day, it's only after 1 month of somebody being employed that you really realize कि ये perform कर रहा है कि नहीं कर रहा है. Before that 1 month, you have no idea ये बंदा क्या है, क्या कर रहा है, क्या बोल रहा है, क्या सोच रहा है. You have no idea.
Can I add to what Pratik is saying, which will also answer Javed sir's question. सर अगर वो चीज नहीं होती ना और आप सिलेक्ट करते हो ना, दैट इज वाई प्रोबेशन पीरियड्स होते हैं। and that is why with the perfect resume के साथ भी लोग probation period के बाद convert नहीं कर पाते हैं job. That is the reason. That is what we are trying to explain it to you. कि resume
That
great
is very rare case, hardly 1%.
What is
नहीं
their case?
नहीं
वो
नहीं
बोल
नहीं
रही है कि लाइक जो रिज्यूम में लिखा रहता है उसके बाद भी प्रोफेशनल पीरियड के बाद वो परफॉर्म नहीं कर पाते।
उस हिसाब से तो गूगल, मेटा, फेसबुक, ऑल द बिगेस्ट कंपनीज कभी वो करते ही नहीं, क्या बोलते हैं, मास फायरिंग, या कभी फायरिंग्स करते ही नहीं ना, या फिर वो लोग मास फायरिंग अभी करते ही नहीं. ऑल द पीपल आर किकिंग द पीपल आउट. वो होता ही नहीं.
नहीं, ये मेरे को समझा नहीं
तो
पॉइंट. कोई
हाँ,
इंटरेस्टिंग
so
पॉइंट है ये. क्या मास फायरिंग क्यों नहीं करते, समझा
yeah,
नहीं मेरे को
so
पॉइंट.
yeah, Pratik, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead,
या
Deepti. What are you saying?
Yeah, so Richa, mass firing and knowledge or the talent, I mean, that's not related. So when you are saying that Meta and Face or the other companies, they won't do mass firing, it is not. The reason behind that is not lack of their talent or knowledge.
But then, okay, Deepti, you tell me, how do you justify firing someone? Everyone is working at Meta, everyone is working at Google, everyone is from the
So
top companies, everyone have
yeah,
done
so
the
there are many, you know, there are many things that go behind a mass
So
layoff. So, but I can
yeah, let
I
me,
can
if I
personally
can
believe
add,
that that is not talent, lack of
yeah, I can
potential,
add
lack of talent, or lack of knowledge is not one of those.
Yeah, I can add to it. It's not like mass firing happens just like the company CEO feels like, oh, I don't need this group of employees anymore, I'll fire all them. It's not happening like that in the real world. Okay, there are labor laws. Okay, there are certain attrition rates which need to be adhered by every organization. It doesn't
Chalo.
happen like that. And also, if there is an operation being shut down, that can be only one ground of people are being laid off. That's the reason they cannot do it
Yeah.
like
चलो थर्ड
normally.
क्वेश्चन,
Yeah.
थर्ड क्वेश्चन बहुत मजा आ रहा है. चलो थर्ड क्वेश्चन हो जाए.
ये टॉपिक से शायद अलग का डिस्कशन था, मे बी ये गलत टॉपिक पे आप डिस्कस कर रहे हैं.
थर्ड
So
क्वेश्चन.
the third question is like, learning versus thinking. Can innovation truly exist without the foundation of knowledge, or can a great idea emerge from intuition and curiosity alone? So today we are discussing on this important topic, and our position is clear. Learning is the foundation. Without knowledge, thinking differently has no clear direction. Think of it in like this: you cannot think outside the box if you don't even know what inside the box. So in few minutes I'll show you through science, data, and real life example why learning matters. So this graph shows something very simple but very powerful. Research tested people with different knowledge levels. The results were clear: low knowledge, low creativity; medium knowledge improves creativity; high knowledge, highest creativity. Why does this happens? Because creativity is not magic. Creativity is the brain connecting ideas that already exist. And if you know more, you can connect more. Knowledge gives you your mind raw material. It gives you fact, examples, principle, and experience. Without knowledge, thinking differently becomes guesswork. With knowledge, thinking differently becomes innovation. So the simple point is, knowledge fuels creativity. Creativity cannot exist in vacuum. Go to the next slide. Akib, go to the next slide. So this is a simple example of another truth that people often forgot. Having a different idea is easy, but having a useful idea is rare. People only think differently usually generate idea that sounds good, but when you check the feasibility, those ideas fall apart. And on the other hand, people who combine knowledge plus creativity produce the ideas that are innovated and practical. The line graph shows it clearly. As a knowledge increases, feasibility increases, novelty stays balance. The best point, the sweet spot, is where the knowledge is high. In simple terms, creativity gives you imagination, Knowledge gives you implementation, and the world rewards what works, not what just sounds cool. Go to the next slide. Here, let me show you what happened. Some like with a real example, which someone has a big idea but no knowledge. Ferons is one of the US company, which was one of the companies that promised an unbelievable innovation, testing 200 diseases from just a drop of a blood. The idea was brilliant, it was different, it sounded like future, but there was a major problem. The founders did not have medical, scientific, and technical knowledge needed to make it real. So what happened? The machines did not work, the blood test result were wrong, the people were misdiagnosed, and the company collapsed from $9 billion to zero. The founders were jailed. Why? No, not because the idea was bad, but because the learning was missing. The story possesses one thing clearly: thinking differently without knowledge is not innovation, it is a danger. Knowledge protects ideas from becoming a disaster. Go to the next slide. So let me conclude this, that knowledge is a bridge that turns idea into reality. Creativity might give birth to an idea, but knowledge decides whether that idea will stand or fall. So creativity without learning leads to an unrealistic, unsafe, or failed outcomes. But learning combined with thinking differently creates real innovation. So let me leave you up with one powerful line: thinking outside the box is good, but only if you understand the box. So, well, thank you so much. This was our presentation for this question. Akib, we can drop the screen.
Go ahead, customer service.
Okay, so the third question is, in a world flooded with information, is knowing more valuable than thinking differently? Let us understand this with the
This is not the
principle.
third question.
Sorry, what's your name, Josefa? I wanted to say this, but I wanted to use this in the rebuttal, but this is the third question. You use the first question again to answer the third one. I was going to use this in
No,
the
no.
rebuttal, but you yourself said this. So can I continue?
Sure, continue.
Okay. So let us understand this with the principle of economics, the law of diminishing return. This law states that if you keep increasing one input in a production process while keeping other inputs fixed, at some point the additional output gained from the extra input begins to decrease. In our case, the variable input is knowledge, that is facts, data, skills, and theories. The fixed inputs are human cognitive capacity, attention, and time, and the outputs are valuable insights, ideas, problem solving, and innovation. Even if we keep acquiring more knowledge beyond a point, it does not translate into better ideas or solutions. This graph clearly shows that after a certain point, simply knowing more stops giving us better results. Here, the graph is divided into three parts, that is productive return, the diminishing return, and the negative return, which is affected by the amount of input we give. We can see in the productive returns at the start, every unit of input leads to productive gain. Like after certain point of time, diminishing return point came where every additional input will give a slower increase in output, and there comes the point of maximum output. After that, we are going to have negative returns. So there are lots of knowledge flooding in the world. Today we live in a world flooded with information: the internet, social media, content platform, academic publications, books, podcasts, etc. This abundance can be overwhelming. Research confirms the downsides. A review in the International Journal of Information Management found that information overloads leads to poor decision making and decreased productivity and cognitive strain. Another study in Frontiers in Neuroscience using ERP measurement show that even when people face too much information, they pay less attention, take longer to decide, and even regret their decisions more often. Simply knowing more doesn't guarantee better outcomes. Now, let us understand why thinking differently matters. It helps us to handle information overload efficiently by filtering and prioritizing what matters, drive innovation and breakthroughs instead of repeating what's already known. The third one is enhanced problem solving by looking at issues from new angles. And the fourth one, that is most important, is this: there is scarcity of thinking differently capability. Notice how this concept connects back to the law of diminishing nature. Knowledge alone reaches a plateau, but creativity is rare and continues to add value. Let us understand this with the research as well. There are certain research and studies that show how rare this ability is. Out of state of create study found that only 1 in 4 people have feel they are living up to their creative potential. A linearity report in 2023 also showed that only 25% of people feel they maximize their creativity. Personal creativity studies indicate that while 40% consider themselves creative, 53% don't, and 69% wish they were more creative. Clearly, thinking differently is scarce, and that scarcity makes it powerful. Sorry. Let us see some real world example. Let's look at the real world comparison. Netflix thought differently. It anticipated the shift to online streaming, invested in original content, and disrupted the market, and has built the company worth of $250+ billion. Whereas Nokia, on the other hand, relied on the existing knowledge and past successes and failed to adapt. The result: Netflix thrived, Nokia lost its dominance. Market share fell from 48% to 3%. Sorry. This shows that in a world overflowing with information, the ability to think differently, not just knowing more, determines who succeeds. So, knowing more can only take us so far. Sorry, here it is. So knowing more can only take us so far. Beyond a point, more information doesn't help. It overwhelms us. Thinking differently is rare, valuable, and essential to innovation. So
30
in today's
seconds.
world, the power of creativity far outweighs the mere accumulation of knowledge. Sorry. Yeah, that's it.
Go ahead, Josefa and Akib. It's your time to rebut.
So would like to rebut on few things that uh, creativity thinking without knowledge is just imagination. Creativity thinking without understanding is guesswork. And the idea only changes the world when they are correct, practical, and possible.
That's all you have to say.
हो गया क्या तुम्हारा rebuttal, Josefa?
Yes, sir, because like we messed up with some slides, I guess. So I'm just figuring out. Allow
अच्छा
me
ठीक है.
some time. Yeah, I'm done with the rebuttal they can do.
Yeah, I mean, let's do this. Let's give customer service some time to rebut, and then we can come back to you. That gives you some time to think through. Okay. Go ahead,
So
customer service team. Yeah.
I just want to make a point which Pratik just said in the debate. कि sometimes क्या होता है ना, knowing too much will make you stop thinking. To back that point, I'll come to you. When I was an instructor, and when we just were seeing STM, there were a lot of questions that were coming up. It was like we were throwing questions with rapid fire, the first, second one. Then I am not saying the questions were not coming. Definitely they were coming. We have figured out a lot of it. But the intensity at which it comes has become very less. There was, I guess, even with me, I guess I discussed it with Pratik, and we were discussing with Pratik was continuously complaining, ke, guys, you are not asking question and you are not asking questions enough. You are not thinking. And that's when I remember I mentioned to him, "Hey, Pratik, it has become so frequent seeing this particular slide day in and day out that we cannot unsee it, or we are not able to come up with something new. हमें knowledge तो है ना, but कुछ नया नहीं आ रहा है." That's what happened. And even there is also one thing, when you start a new job, there are times when you have to unlearn some things to perform good or to look at the new perspective. तो उसको करने के लिए you have to unlearn a lot of things. Like for example, I'll talk about myself. I was working in a completely work from office setup. वहां पे no one, वहां पे मैं जाती थी, whenever I used to enter the whole room, I used to immediately work. और मैं रूम में जब तक सीट पे बैठी रहती थी, आई वाज सेल्फ मोटिवेटेड, मुझे मोटिवेट नहीं करना पड़ता, मैं करती थी। हाँ, मैं ब्रेक लेके आती थी, मैं लंबा ब्रेक ले लेती हूँ, पर एज सुन एज आई स्टेप इनटू दैट कॉरिडोर, I am working. There was no point where I have to self motivate myself or do anything like that. But when I've shifted to this particular thing, I had to unlearn that things. I had to unlearn some things. I have to unlearn to work in one particular place, because that's not what's gonna happen. I have to unlearn to not motivate myself, and then I have to learn how to motivate myself to work better, how to ask. So पहले it was a very previous thing कि मुझे एक to do list की thing दी जाती थी और मुझे वो करनी पड़ती थी, whereas in this job कोई to do list है ही नहीं हमारे job roles के लिए. You kind of have to figure things out. Even let's just say even for प्रोडक्ट टीम है, इंजीनियरिंग टीम है, यू आर कोडिंग बट यू आर ऑल्सो फिगरिंग आउट कि गलत क्या हो रहा है. So that is the thing, na, accumulated knowledge, and none of us, I mean, all of us had knowledge in terms of market and everything, but this is something very different that we do, और उसके लिए हमें हर बार अलग सोचना पड़ता है. हम केटर ही वो करें ना कि हम एक स्ट्रैटेजी तो बेच रहे हैं, पर हम किस दूसरे तरीके से स्ट्रैटेजी को बेच रहे हैं, वो हमारे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है. हम सबके पास नॉलेज है स्टेज मार्केट, बट हम आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स जाके इसको बेच रहे हैं. दैट इज व्हाट मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टार्टअप्स आर कमिंग अप विद द थिंग्स, कि आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स जाके कर रहे हो, तब वो उस रैट रेस में आगे बढ़ रहे. जोमेटो है, स्विगी ने कुछ ऐसे नया नहीं किया, बट द थिंग इज जोमेटो के पास फर्स्ट मूवर एडवांटेज था क्योंकि उसने डिफरेंटली थिंक किया.
Sir, let me know once my rebuttal times can like start, okay?
Here's the
Richa,
thing, no?
sorry, continue.
Yeah, so that is the thing कि वो thinking out of the box, स्विगी ने कुछ नया नहीं किया है, बट जोमेटो के पास फर्स्ट मूवर एडवांटेज होगा, तो फर्स्ट मूवर एडवांटेज भी वहीं से आता है ना कि यू आर थिंकिंग
Go
आउट ऑफ
ahead,
द बॉक्स.
Josefa, now it's your time. Yeah.
Okay, so they said creative thinking is what drives the process, but we agree thinking differently is important. But the problem here is that creative thinking without knowledge is just imagination. Creative thinking without understanding is just a guesswork, and guesswork does not build an innovation, it builds mistake. So yes, creativity is beautiful, but creativity without a knowledge foundation is like building a skyscraper on a sand. So the opposition talks about the idea change the world, but idea only change the world when they are correct, practical, and possible. They require knowledge. This is a simple truth. A doctor cannot think differently to treat a patient unless he knows the human autonomy, right? The engineer cannot think creatively to design a bridge unless he knows physics and materials. A pilot cannot innovate in sky unless he knows aviation rules and safety. Every field tells us the same story. Learning is the power, thinking differently is the tool. A tool without power is useless. The opposition celebrates originality, but originality without accuracy is dangerous. So they may say that big ideas change the world. Yes, they do, but only when those ideas are backed by deep learning. Let me remind you of one clear example which I gave of that medicine company in US. It was a revolutionary idea, but no scientific knowledge behind it. Result in lives affected, billions were lost, and the company collapsed. This proves something simple: the idea can inspire people, but the knowledge protects people. Creativity can create a fire, but knowledge stops it from burning the world down. So, to conclude the rebuttal, we are not saying creativity is unimportant. We are saying creativity alone is not enough. You cannot think outside the box, as I said, if you don't know even what's inside the box. So, knowledge is ultimately gives you direction, it gives you depth, it gives you power. And that's is why the real world learning matters more than merely thinking differently. That's our
Was
rebuttal. Thank you.
same things in 4 different ways. So I just will need the time to rebuttal. First thing, you agreed to something which we are telling. You have
नहीं
agreed to a
नहीं, रिबटल टाइम दोनों टीम्स का हो गया है.
Now it's question
Now it
answer
is
time.
audience time.
So I'll jump in again. So Huzefa, when you are talking about Elizabeth Holmes and Theranos, and so if you're just talking about the lack of knowledge, I mean, the person that she had asked to be the first board member, if I'm not completely wrong, was her professor, her Stanford professor. I believe his last name was Robertson. So she had someone who was highly knowledgeable on her team, and I mean, she did take a few classes. I would, as far as I remember, I think she had dropped out when she got this idea. She dropped out of Stanford and started this. So
what was your point, Deepti?
yeah, so when Josefa was saying that there was a lack of knowledge in Terrano's company, what I'm trying to say is I don't think there was lack of knowledge over there. I think the fraud was something different.
I think there was lack of ethics more than
Lack of ethics was the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
थिंकिंग डिफरेंट करना मे भी ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है, क्योंकि अगर नॉलेज की अगर बात करते हैं तो नॉलेज तो हर जगह मतलब डिफरेंट डिफरेंट थिंग्स है. अभी किसी को अगर सैमसंग का पता होगा तो हिस्ट्री एक सैमसंग की ऐसी है कि सैमसंग जो उसका जो फर्स्ट प्रोडक्ट था वो था फूड आइटम्स लाइक ड्राइड फिश एंड नूडल्स. तो अगर उसने गलत डिफरेंट अगर सोचा ही नहीं होता तो वो आज कभी स्मार्टफोन कंपनी बन नहीं पाती. वो हमेशा फूड आइटम और नूडल्स ही बेचते रह जाता. वैसे बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन है, बहुत सारे बिजनेसेस है जिसमें आप देखोगे अगर वो दूसरे डिफरेंट टाइम का सोचेगा ही नहीं तो हमेशा वैसे ही बने रहेगा जो अभी चल रहा है. और रही बात अगर डॉक्टर की, और डॉक्टर अगर पेशेंट में एक ही तरीके से मेथड से अगर वो ट्रीट कर रहा है तो दूसरी कभी मेडिसिन बनेगी नहीं, वो हमेशा एक ही चलती रहेगी. यूएस में वो डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ, उनके पास डिफरेंट थिंकिंग है, इसलिए उनके पास डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ इनोवेशन है, डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ जो इनोवेटिव जो प्रोडक्ट्स है वो है. इंडिया में क्यों नहीं है? क्योंकि थिंकिंग डिफरेंट नहीं है. एक ही को दूसरा फॉलो करता है, दूसरे को तीसरा फॉलो करता है. तो आप डिफरेंट थिंकिंग सोचोगे ही नहीं तो डिफरेंट आइटम बनेगा भी नहीं. और डिफरेंट सोचने के लिए आपको नॉलेज की जरूरत नहीं है, आपका पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू डिफरेंट होना चाहिए, आपका पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ब्रॉड होना चाहिए. तो अगर आपको थिंक डिफरेंट करता आता है तो आप किसी भी चीज में आगे निकल सकते हो, क्योंकि एक ही बंदा है जो लिफ्ट से भी जाता है, एक ही बंदा है जो सीढ़ी से भी जाता है. तो ऊपर जाने के लिए सीढ़ी भी और लिफ्ट भी है. अब जो अलग सोचेगा वो लिफ्ट से जाएगा, जो नॉर्मल सोचेगा या जो हमेशा से चलते आ रहा है, जो कभी डिफरेंट सोचा ही नहीं उसने लिफ्ट के बारे में, मैं चलूंगा सीढ़ी में जा रहा हूँ तो सीढ़ी से जाएगा. तो मुझे लगता है कि डिफरेंट थिंकिंग वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट rather than knowledge. And there are various types of companies, they didn't have a proper or knowledge about any kind of field or any kind of particular that field, but they're still surviving in the different kinds of fields, and they have different kinds of products, and they innovate new products in different kinds of categories. So maybe it is very important to give the beautiful value to the different thinking, because if you can imagine, so you have power to make it happen. So it is totally depend on you. If you have a hard worker and you do if you have a good imagination power, or if you imagine a good thing, so you didn't need a knowledge, you just have to do that particular thing. ओके, नॉलेज इज, अगर आपके पास नॉलेज का, ऐसा नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि वो नॉलेज आपको डिफरेंट थिंग के लिए नॉलेज की जरूरत नहीं है. आप अगर डिफरेंट टाइम सोच पा रहे हो तो आप किसी भी चीज में डिफरेंटली सोच लोगे, कोई भी चीज डिफरेंटली करने का आपको तरीका मिल जाएगा. तो या मे बी मेरी जो पर्सनल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू यही है कि डिफरेंट थिंकिंग को देना चाहिए वैल्यू. थैंक यू.
Just a quick question for the both of the team. जैसा कि क्वेश्चन लिखा हुआ है कि ना वर्ल्ड फ्लडेड विद इंफॉर्मेशन इज नोइंग मोर वैल्यूएबल देन थिंकिंग डिफरेंटली। तो डोंट यू थिंक गाइस कि लाइक अगर मेरे पास एक्सेस नॉलेज है और अगर मैं उसको उस एक्सेस नॉलेज को डिफरेंटली थॉट या प्रोसेस करके सोचता हूँ तो मैं कुछ फ्रूटफुल निकाल पाऊंगा उसमें से।
Okay, so I have a clear example of this. You are talking about decision making आपका better हो जाएगा, right? But in my research, I already shown कि decision making hamper होता है. I'll give you example. Let's say अभी ना standard हो गया है कि मुझे अगर कोई चीज़ के बारे में पता करना है तो I will go to ChatGPT, I will go to Gemini, I will go to Perplexity asking same question. And तीनों sources से मुझे तीन अलग अलग questions मिलेंगे. So that is a kind of flooded knowledge for the same thing I will be getting. देन मैं उसको एक एक को रीड करूंगी जिससे मेरा टाइमिंग बढ़ेगा। ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि उस पार्ट में मैं किसी चीज को अटेंशन देनी चाहिए थी उसको नहीं दूंगी। उसके बाद मैं तीनों जगह से जो डेटा कलेक्ट करूंगी उससे जो मेरा डिसीजन मेकिंग जो भी होगा दैट वुड बी नॉट वेरी एक्यूरेट
No,
एंड
no,
द रिसर्च
Lakshmi,
हैज
wait,
आल्सो
wait, wait,
प्रूव्ड।
Lakshmi. In my opinion, what I personally think that if you are clear in your mind that what to do and what is requirement, so it is like rest of the knowledge will be like no matter ना कि कितना नॉलेज है आप या आपको क्लैरिटी है आपके माइंड में कि मुझे क्या चाहिए और किस तरीके से चाहिए, दैट्स इट।
Exactly. That's the saying which I said. If you know what's inside the box, then only you can think outside the box. जब आपको पता होगा उस बेसिक्स फाउंडेशन के बारे में, the foundation of knowledge, if you have it, then only you can think outside it and do something creative. In my presentation I never said that the creativity is not important. We are proving our point that creativity only works, only gets implemented when you have knowledge. आप अगर सोच रहे हो, imagine कर रहे हो,
No,
that's a guesswork you are doing.
Josefa, like I little bit disagree with the what you have said. Ki only is not the right word to say, I guess, in my understanding, because अगर only word होता, so we are not here to discuss or debating on those topics कि knowledge या फिर curiosity या फिर like हाँ, so there are importance for the both things, both are the required, but the importance is the which is the what is the significant requirement of this thing, what is the priority कि क्या ज्यादा जरूरी है, that's what we are just trying to discuss over here. It is not only about कि only knowledge will tell you or only curiosity will tell you, in my understanding what I'm just trying to say.
करेक्ट एट योर पॉइंट। ओनली मीन्स लाइक कि आपके पास जब नॉलेज होगे तभी आप क्रिएटिविटी जो आपने सोचा है वो आप इम्प्लीमेंट कर पाओगे। हम यहाँ पर ये डिस्कस नहीं कर रहे कि आपके पास नॉलेज है तभी आप सोच पा रहे हो। हम ये बोलना चाह रहे हैं कि आपने जो सोचा है उसको आप इम्प्लीमेंट कैसे करोगे जब आप उसके पास उसकी नॉलेज होगी नहीं तो आप वो सोच के क्या करोगे?
See,
सोच के अपने पास ही रख पाओगे, राइट?
that's
आप
very
उसको
very
आपका आइडिया सिर्फ आइडिया ही रह जाएगा। इफ यू वांट टू इम्प्लीमेंट इट, इफ यू वांट टू put it in the real girl, it should be practical, it should be implementable, right? Without knowledge you cannot do it. That's the point we are explaining here. जैसे तरुण सर ने भी बताया कि हम कुछ भी सोच सकते हैं, हम क्रिएटिविटी कर सकते हैं, बट आई डोंट एग्री विथ हिज पॉइंट। आप सोच तो कुछ भी सकते हो बट आप इम्प्लीमेंट कब करोगे? जब आप उसका आपके पास कुछ नॉलेज होगा, कुछ इन्फॉर्मेशन होगा कि वो कैसे इम्प्लीमेंट होगा। जो आप सोच रहे हो, आप अगर सोच रहे हो कि मुझे एक कार बनानी चाहिए जो ए पॉइंट टू बी पॉइंट चलनी चाहिए, राइट? तो आपके
okay.
पास वो सारा कुछ होना चाहिए कि उसका इंजन कैसे होगा, कैसे वो चीजें चलेगी। आपने अगर डिजाइन सोच लिया तो वो एक स्ट्रक्चर है। अगर आपके उसको उस स्ट्रक्चर को चलाने के लिए इंजन ही नहीं है तो वो स्ट्रक्चर वैसा के वैसे ही रह जाएगा, राइट?
I
सो
agree, I agree, I agree, Joseph,
करेक्ट।
of what
और
you said.
आपके पास अगर
But
डिफरेंट नॉलेज ही नहीं है तो आप उस
wait,
नॉलेज का क्या करोगे?
Tarun,
अच्छा,
ये
let me.
फ्यूचर का नहीं है।
एक मिनट गाइस। हाँ,
हम्म,
किसी का ये डिबेट से ये थिंकिंग चेंज हो रहा है क्या कि कैसे अपने जॉब को या अपने काम को कैसे अप्रोच करना चाहिए? इस पे किसी का कोई थॉट है? तीन क्वेश्चन सुने, उनके आंसर सुने, उसके बेसिस पे किसी का कोई थॉट है क्या कि वो अपना वर्किंग स्टाइल कैसे चेंज करेंगे इस पे?
sir, what in my understanding, what I like feel ki keep thinking, keep digging what is around you, because if you do not think, so then it will not work basically. As far as the knowledge is concerned, so अगर मैं किसी चीज़ के बारे में सोचता हूँ, so I have to like go for the knowledge as well कि अच्छा इसको कैसे करना है, then there this is the second step I would say. But first is the thought important, most important thing is the thought. अगर वो दिमाग में ही नहीं आएगा तो उसके बारे में तो फिर knowledge होगा तब भी वो काम करना है। In my
अच्छा,
understanding.
I want
Exactly.
मैं आप ही का लाइन था वो बोल रही हूँ कि देर इज सो मच इन स्टॉक मार्केट, वो कभी पूरा नहीं होगा। तो जस्ट टू सपोर्ट, यू आर ऑल्सो टेलिंग द सेम थिंग्स, मैं भी वही बोल रही हूँ कि नॉलेज इतना है कि हम गेन करते रहेंगे करते रहेंगे करते रहेंगे, पर अगर हम उसको थिंक नहीं करेंगे, उसको क्रिएटिव थिंक करेंगे, उसको इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं करेंगे, उसको थिंक नहीं करेंगे कि हाउ वी कैन यूज इट, तब तक वो कुछ नहीं होगा। और जब तक हम आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स थिंक नहीं करेंगे, तब तक इट विल नॉट बी इनटू अ ग्रेट और अ स्केलेबल आइडिया।
चलो
सो
फोर्थ क्वेश्चन, इसी बात पे फोर्थ क्वेश्चन।
So the last question of this debate is, in the rapidly changing world, is accumulated knowledge become less valuable? So today we are discussing about this question, and our side is clear that knowledge is not becoming less valuable. Only outdated tools became obsolete. Knowledge evolves and grow. In fact, the faster the world changes, the more we need strong foundation. The more we need deep understanding, the more valuable knowledge becomes. So let me show you exactly why. So the next slide shows that people often get confused between two things. Old tools became obsolete and knowledge becomes useless. Here there are not these are not the same thing. Tool changes fast, software format technology, but the foundational knowledge change slowly. For example, physics doesn't become obsolete, right? Accounting principle doesn't disappears. Human psychology doesn't reset every few years. Critical thinking, problem solving, judgments, these becomes more valuable. So the reality is simple. Tools may expire, but knowledge evolves. Knowledge adapts, knowledge multiplies. Go to the next slide. This line graphs makes the truth very easy to understand. The yellow line shows the tool specific skills like learning and practical software version or a machine. These changes quickly, very quickly, and they decline fast. But the red line, which shows the core knowledge, things like logic, concept, principle, and experience, these stay relevant for years. And what does this tell us? The world does not punish people who have knowledge. It punishes people who stop updating their tools. And here is the important point: knowledge is what allows you to learn new tools quickly. If you have the foundation, adapting became easy. Go to the next slide. We have a real life example. Uh, Aviation today is fully automated, as everybody knows. Autopilot system can handle 90% of the flight. People say it is if computers fly planes, pilot knowledge became obsolete. But the reality proves opposite. Whenever the plane faces an emergency, a sudden storm, or a system failure, engineer engine trouble, autopilot switches off. At that moment, only one thing determines whether the passengers will live or die. So the pilot's deep knowledge, experience, judgment, and pattern recognition, crisis decision making, all these come from accumulated knowledge. Investigation of a real aviation indicates shows the same conclusion again and again. Technology handles the route, but the knowledge handles the unexpected. The world is full of unexpected, and this is the perfect proof that knowledge does not become obsolete. It becomes more critical when the world becomes unpredictable. So let me come to the conclusion. In the world that is changing rapidly, outdated tools expires, but the knowledge evolves and stay valuable for decades. S- Strong roots allows the trees to grow in any direction. It keeps it It is a deep knowledge, the roots that gives you the power to learn new skills and adapt to the future. The world does not need people who knows tools. Tool changes, the world need people who understand the concept deeply, because knowledge gives you stability in uh, direction in confusion, adaptability in change, and stability in chaos. So let me leave up to you with a powerful line that knowledge is not a burden of past, it is an engine of future. While this by saying this line, I might conclude my presentation for this question. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Josefa. Go ahead, Lakshmi and Richa.
So our next question is, in a rapidly changing world, is accumulated knowledge becoming less valuable? So let us first understand what is accumulated knowledge. Accumulated knowledge is the stock of information or facts or concepts, the techniques we have learned over time through education and training. It's what we know, not necessarily what we have practiced or lived. Think of it as a stored intellectual content in the form that we got from academic information, theoretical knowledge, rules and facts, technical instructions. So accumulated knowledge is past information stored in the mind. Now there are some limitations to the accumulated knowledge. No, it's not, huh? There are some limitations to the accumulated knowledge. It is passive. It exists but doesn't act. It's past dependent, based on what was useful before, not necessarily now. It's static. It doesn't evolve automatically. Then it's not always experiential. Knowing something doesn't guarantee we can apply it effectively. Knowledge isn't valuable if it just sits there. Knowledge life cycle shows how knowledge must be created, shared, applied, and updated. If this cycle stops anywhere in between, knowledge remains accumulated and stagnant, losing relevance over time. And this cycle is supported by multiple frameworks and studies like MIT Solon Review, Nonaka and Takeuchi, SCCI model, McElroy knowledge management cycle. Then let us look into the real world examples of. There are several examples of medicines, technology, and finance. So, in the field of medicines, the old knowledge says antibiotics cures most infections, but the new updated knowledge says the only specific infection need antibiotics. So, in the field of technology, old knowledge used keyword stuffing, backlink tricks, exact match domains, but new updated reality uses AI ranking system, user intent signals, and semantic search in the Google search algorithm. Sorry. In the finance stream, the old knowledge, the accumulated one, said traditional chart patterns, manual trading strategies, as well. Whereas the new updated knowledge says uses algorithmic trading, high frequency trading, machine learning trading models. About this, the finance related thing of the stock market, we have also used in our corporate video, so we can refer that as well. Then there are some researches that confirms this. A century ago, an engineering degree had a half-life of 35 years. Today, software engineers must refresh skills every 12 to 18 months. Then there is, sorry, the Oxford Martin, the average skills half-life is now under 5 years. And in fast-moving fields like AI, it's 2 to 2.5 years. Skills that aren't updated become obsolete quickly. There are some more evidence on rapid changes. Decades ago, occupational half-lives were 25 to 40 years. Today, for technical roles, it's about 18 months. This proves that accumulated knowledge alone cannot sustain relevance in a rapidly changing world. Sorry. Let us look into the nature's proof. Nature provides a useful analogy for how knowledge and adaptability work. There are two kinds of traits in every human being. The one is inherited traits that acts like genes passed down from generation, represent accumulated knowledge. Whereas there is there are acquired traits developed in response to environmental change determine survival. Evolution rewards adaptability, not more accumulation. This is the principle behind survival of the fittest as well, given by Darwin's theory. Knowledge that doesn't evolve becomes obsolete, just like inherited traits that aren't useful in a changed environment. To visualize this, look at this image of primates evolving. Early primates had tails, but over time, tails become unnecessary and disappeared. This shows that static traits, no matter how accumulated, are eliminated if they don't adapt. Similarly, accumulated knowledge loses value if it isn't updated and applied in changing circumstances. Sorry. Even in biology, survival favors adaptation and not accumulation. The modern world is the same. Knowledge that doesn't evolve becomes obsolete. Yes, that's it.
Thank you, Lakshmi.
Yeah.
All right, Josefa and Akib.
Yeah, so I would like to respond to the points made by the opposition. They said that because the world is changing fast, knowledge became less valuable. But the argument mix two very different things. Tools becomes outdated, knowledge does not. Just because a software version changes, just because a new technology appears, doesn't mean that the knowledge loses its words. It only means that we need to update our tools, not throw away our knowledge. And it is the biggest flaw in their argument. The opposition also says that the science also says that since the world is unpredictable, old knowledge became useless. But the truth is completely opposite. When the world comes, when the world becomes unpredictable, the strong knowledge becomes even more important because it allows you to adapt faster. Think about it. If you learn a new tool quickly, only if you understand the basics. You can solve a new problem only if you know the principles behind it, right? So, if you think like if you can face a crisis only if you have experienced and judgments. So, in every field, the people who survive change are not the ones with the newest tools. They are the ones who with the deep understanding. So change does not reduce the value of knowledge. Change increase it. So let me give you a powerful example which I gave earlier also that destroys the argument that knowledge becomes useless. As I gave you the example of aviation today, planes are fully automated. Yet every time a major emergency happens, the system failure, engine trouble, sudden weather change, the autopilot automatically switches off and the pilot must take over. At that moment, does the pilot's knowledge become obsolete? The answer is no. It becomes life saving. It is the pilot's accumulated knowledge, judgment, experience, and quick thinking that protects hundreds of lives. This proves something very important. Technology may replace the routine work, but the deep human knowledge handles the unexpected. So let me end this. End this with the opposition wants us to believe that the knowledge is becoming useless, but all the evidence, economic, science, industry, and real life cases shows us the opposite. Tools expires, trends expires, but the knowledge adapts and evolves and stay valuable in a fast changing world. Knowledge is not a luxury. Knowledge is survival. And that is why knowledge will always matter more. That's my rebuttal. Thank you.
Okay. Sir, I can start, right?
Sure,
I
sure.
can ask.
Sure.
Yeah, so first things, I kind of miss your other partner, Akib. I don't see him a lot. I don't hear him a lot. First thing. Second thing that I want to tell you that you have again got the question wrong. You actually did not understand the question. The question was about accumulated knowledge, not just knowledge. And you were constantly going or giving arguments about what knowledge is knowledge. We are talking about accumulated knowledge, right? Let's, for example, I'll try to explain it to you. How I explain it to everyone is how you can approach this question or how you should have thought of between the lines. So the education system in India, is you have to study all the subjects, right? So that is why I've seen a lot of people struggle to figure out what they actually want. But if you go to US systems and if you go their education system and you see there is a way where there are some subjects which are compulsory, then they have elective subjects, which gives them the opportunity where they can select their subjects and they can try and test their curiosity very early on. That helps them make decision faster with their careers, with their life, or what they actually want to do. I don't remember, or I can tell you for a fact, no one here have used what is a square plus b square is equal to c square, but that was important and we get it. But there should have been options where I would have tried and tested some things, because I know I've studied it till 10th standard. But I know in 5th standard that this is not the subjects I want to continue. I want to try something else. I want elective to be something else. And I want to deep into that. That's what a that's what more sort of a thing is, how studying one thing kind of, how accumulated knowledge sometimes works in a different way. So that is one thing that I want to tell you, Josefa. Second thing, that's how I'm trying to explain you the question. But coming to the rebuttals, which I can give, again, a lot of points were irrelevant, but some points that I can give you, because I want to give you a counter, is that how the decision impacts on doing what have you been always told. How a lot of people are not experimental, and that clogs your judge. That sometimes you know what you are hearing, कि ऐसे करो या वैसे करो, ये मत करो, वो मत करो, और if you do it, you will not have that experience. वो आपने सुना हुआ है बरसों से, इसलिए आपने किया, पर अगर आपने वो कभी ट्राई नहीं किया ना, you will not really have any say in that. You will pass on the same thing. वो गलत भी हो सकता है. So that's how the accumulated knowledge sometimes play. It goes against you. Yes, Lakshmi.
And then, yeah, then there Josefa said ki about aviation he mentioned, okay. So if we talk about the pilot's profession, it is more about experience and not knowledge. So that is one thing.
So let me answer a few of the questions. So firstly, Richa, starting with you, that in the in last question, I got miscommunicated by you. We were correct at a part, our slides were correct, right? So that's why it happened. But later on, I figure out after thinking for a minute or so that I was right at a part. Okay, were slides were not wrong. Coming to your next point, that you are saying that I am emphasizing on knowledge, not accumulated knowledge. So I believe you know the difference between it. Basically, accumulated knowledge is the collection of facts, information, and skill gathered over time, right? But the knowledge is a broader term of it, which includes all of these as a knowledge. There is not big difference between accumulated knowledge and knowledge. Okay, so that's
Okay,
why
so
I specified. Let me complete.
sorry.
I specified knowledge in my presentation, right? Second of all, you gave the example of learning in schools and you compared it with the US schools and all, right? So as in previous questions and previous side also we have discussed about foundation of knowledge, right? So it's not about that if you are willing to go over with, let's suppose I'm just taking an hypothetical example, that you would like to go with just pursuing science. So no schools offers you such kind of classes that you will be studying only science, not other subjects. It's the basic foundation which helps you go over with other parameters of life. If you have studied
have we switched to
mathematics,
the audience mode?
yes sir,
अच्छा ठीक है, go
this is
ahead.
the audience mode.
ठीक है.
So basic foundation of knowledge till 10th standard we have to study the entire subject, right? The mathematics which are
Debaters, now
all,
please take a break. You had enough chance to talk. Let the
okay,
audience.
all right
ये
sir,
10 मिनट हम audience को देते हैं. ठीक
okay
है?
sir, sure.
So because the US school system was brought in, I thought I'll just give a little bit of insight. And so Richa, the electives that these kids have, they are at a middle school level. They might be music, debate, speech and debate, journalism, or things like that. Now, I just want to tell you that when we went to school, we also had those options. Of course, it was not like a class subject as such, but we did have those offerings, and we could have, the people who were interested, they did branch out and they did pursue those activities.
Okay, just because you took my name, I feel like I have to answer this. Okay, let's just
Sure.
say you have that electives like that, but let's just go jump to, okay, let me rephrase it. I'm going to college, right? I am doing basic finance, plus in electives I have, let's just say, psychology. It is really hard to switch in India from finance to psychology in college itself, but there it's not. So that's the
Right.
line I was trying to draw.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
Okay. No, you are right in that you can switch to any field at any time in
No,
US.
but
That
I have a question on that. Is it still hard? I remember it used to be hard when I was in school or even in college, but is it still hard nowadays? Because nowadays I get candidates who have switched from math to finance to from physics to this or that. I mean, isn't it becoming easier to do that in India, or is it still a challenge?
Definitely easy and with a lot of liberal schools coming up, but it is not at the level where it is supposed to be, or it is not at the level where US is.
Acha. Okay.
But it's definitely getting better. We are getting there, but still a long road ahead.
Go ahead, audience. It is your time. Share your thoughts, whatever you learned from the debate, whatever you understood, whatever you did not understand, confusions that still may prevail. Please share. रिया कुछ शेयर करो ना, अपना थॉट शेयर करो.
Sir, I feel like knowledge is the foundation. Even if you have great ideas, right? Without knowledge, you won't be able to execute it. So the reason why you're getting any idea is because you have some kind of knowledge about something जिससे भी रिलेटेड आपको आइडिया आ रहा है. सो लाइक नॉलेज इज फाउंडेशनल. उसको आप रिमूव कर देंगे तो आइडिया इज जस्ट एन आइडिया. यू कांट डू एनीथिंग मच अबाउट इट.
Again, we are not talking about knowledge. We are talking about accumulated knowledge. So that's a very big difference.
एक मिनट डिबेट हो गया, अभी लोगों को बोलने दो. रिचा, you don't have to defend anything anymore.
नहीं, पायलट अगर वो बन रहा है और 10th में उसने केमिस्ट्री पढ़ा होगा, तो मुझे नहीं लगता कोई उसका लिंक है, और उसके लिए
बट
तो वो वैल्यू
पायलट बिना एजुकेशन के तो नहीं बना ना. नोबडी हैंडेड हिम अ लाइसेंस फॉर नो रीजन. ही एजुकेटेड हिमसेल्फ. ही लर्नड हाउ टू pilot a plane. That's how he became a pilot, right, Tarun?
So guys, let me bring
नहीं,
here
वैल्यू तो लेस है
one
ना.
example.
यहाँ पर value हो रही है
तरुण
लेस वैल्यू.
तरुण एक मिनट, तरुण रुक जा.
तरुण एक मिनट
बोल.
अभी मैं एग्जांपल दे. अभी आप लोगों में से कितने लोगों ने दुबई का एक वो जो शो चल रहा था जिसमें इंडियन सोल्जर, आई गेस सोल्जर वाज पायलट है, दैट वो तेजस एयरक्राफ्ट वर crashed and all
Yes.
these things, right?
हाँ.
Everybody knows ना. So
Yeah.
I just got to know कि वहां पर एग्जैक्टली हुआ क्या. तो as far as the knowledge is concerned, तो he was using his experience why वो यू टर्न जो मैन्योर जो होता है बेसिकली, बट द पीपल सेड कि वहां पर फिजिक्स काम किया. उसने अपना एक्सपीरियंस काम किया, बट फिजिक्स की वजह से फिजिक्स बोलता है कि उस मैन्योर पे जाकर के वो उतना टर्न नहीं ले सकता था एयरक्राफ्ट. बट उसने सोचा कि मेरे एक्सपीरियंस के अकॉर्डिंग वो लेगा, but it did not happen. So knowledge is something which is very much important at that point. So but you need to decide that when look for the knowledge or when look for the experiences. That's what I understood, one thing. And the another thing is that there is a slight difference between knowledge and experiences. Many of times we say somebody ask you कि अच्छा स्टॉक मार्केट क्या है, तो यू से कि अच्छा स्टॉक मार्केट में ट्रेडिंग होता है, यू सेल शेयर्स और यू बाय शेयर्स एंड ऑल दैट. बट कोई पूछता है कि तुमने किया है क्या, सो दैट्स व्हाट कम्स इनटू द एक्सपीरियंस. सो देयर इज अ स्लाइट डिफरेंस बिटवीन द एक्सपीरियंस एंड द नॉलेज. सो दैट इज व्हाट आई जस्ट वांटेड टू शेयर विद ऑल ऑफ यू. Sorry.
I think I picked a lot of interesting concepts in the debate, right? I mean, what was that? Somebody mentioned like the burden of knowledge versus what was the term? I think it was Josefa that mentioned something, right? Burden of knowledge versus क्या था Josefa?
About like which question you're asking about? Like I mentioned a lot of
I
terms.
think third question you mentioned something, na? Burden of
Out of the box.
knowledge versus yeah. Anyway, I mean, I guess I'll watch it again. I mean, we went in many directions. We were not just talking about, that you need knowledge versus you need imagination. There were many other aspects that were also touched during the debate. So I really appreciate the fact that the debate, I think it broadened my view of thinking about knowledge and innovation. So thanks a lot, guys, on that front. Anybody has any more thoughts to share, please do before we wrap up. Discussing the scores, basically the customer service team got 129 points and the sales team got 111 points. So the customer service team proceeds to the semi-final stage. But the excellent effort, the excellent, energy that the sales team has shown throughout the competition. Based on that, I have personally decided to distribute about 10,000 rupees of equity to the sales team. Customer service team will now be competing against the marketing team in this eliminator debate. So
Thank you so much, sir. Means a lot.
yeah.
Thank you.
Well, final thoughts anybody wants to share? I mean, we don't have to wrap up right away. We can continue to spend for at least a couple of minutes. So anything
Yeah, so
anybody wants to share?
yeah, so Pratik, I'll say just one thing, that there was this topic where they said that the innovation in US or the something related to that. I don't recall exactly, but I do want to say that there's a lot of innovation that happens in India at many different levels. I believe I had read one laparoscopic. It was about some laparoscopic procedure in a
Okay.
book by Atul Gawande,
Okay.
and he was saying how the surgeons innovated right on the spot. This is like in rural India, and I'll share the link. I'll look it up and I'll share the link, but link of the book maybe.
Right.
However, so when we say when we are saying that US is where the innovation happened, I really believe that even in India there are so many innovative ideas that come up. Another thing which is so random is the Dolly Chaiwala, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his business was just a street cart vending, and then he took it at a completely different level. I mean, there are many.
I mean,
I
chai
mean,
wala, like Mr. Modi has really taken chai to a
oh
different
yeah,
level.
yeah.
Let's not forget
That
Mr.
yeah.
Modi when it comes to chai.
Right,
But
right.
Mhm.
But I mean, there are so
think that
many throughout India. There are so many street vendors.
I was just having a conversation with a friend. He's managing a company of about 200, 300 people. And his take was about 200 of them are, just as young candidates that we have in our company. And his take was that people in his company are very open. They speak a lot and they always have new ways of thinking about whatever the company is working on. Right.
Right.
Our initial debate the whole debate competition was started because I wanted to have more conversations within the company, and I was feeling that people were not expressing themselves fully, right?
Right.
Hopefully, the debate has made a big difference that we have learned that, arguing with each other is not the end of the world. It is actually the basis for good creative ideas. Right?
Absolutely.
But I think there might
I
even
second
be a
that.
cultural difference from state to state. It is not just about US versus India and how students are in India versus US. I
Right.
think there's a state to state differentiation also as to how people handle their conversations and handle their thoughts. And
Mm.
I'm sure there's a lot to learn for me also in that front, and to understand how every state has a different way of handling conversations. So
Right. Right. And for all of us, I guess we all learn, it's a daily learning, lifelong learning.
of course, of course.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot,
Thank,
guys. Best of luck
yeah,
to the
thank,
4 teams that have moved on. Great job, sales team. You gave good competition to all the 4 teams. Better luck next time. Yeah.
good debate.
Thank you.